Hello and welcome to Ananda Healing Arts. I am Nomi, here to do a reading for the Libra Full Moon coming up on the 5th or 6th of this month of April, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So lovely to have you here. Today I will be reading for sun signs, moon signs, rising signs and Venus signs, and obviously this is a general message, so only take what resonates and leave the rest. So what we'll do is we're going to get into a nice big conscious breath in. We're going to release all that tension, get rid of anything that's external to this beautiful moment, and I wish to invoke only the highest and greatest good, and I may be a clear and concise channel for you all. Alright, we're going to get into the Aries first, and we'll go Aries through to Pisces. So thank you so much for having me. Let's see what we've got for Aries. Hi Aries! We're going to use the Light Seers Tarot today, and we're going to get into the reading straight off the bat. What's the energy for the Libra new moon for Aries? We have the Knight of Swords, okay. In the center we've got the Strength card, beautiful. And the third card for my dear Aries, ooh, the Hanged Man, beautiful. Underneath the energy today, we've got the Two of Pentacles. So, interesting, Aries. This is going to be happening in your opposite sign of Libra. So, the Knight of Swords coming out is communication being opened up here, starting the discussions, even a message coming in quite thick and fast. Now, I think you may be feeling like this is coming out of left field. I don't know why that's the case. It just feels like you're being sprung an idea right now to make a quick or fast move. And I think for the most part as well, being that we've got the Two of Pentacles, it's like this deliberation on what to actually respond to this and whether or not you've really come to a full concise idea of where you're moving ahead. It's almost like we're needing to think on our heels. We're having to really make a fly and fast response here. The decision making, whatever's coming up here, it just feels like we need to be acting fast and being very quick with it. And I think whatever's coming through here, it's asking you to walk away from potentially what you've been trying to manifest so far. It's like having to, you know, start fresh and open up these new opportunities coming through here. You've got the Seven of Cups coming up underneath that Eight of Cups. So it's asking you to be very, very sure about the fact that you can handle, you know, this next leg without too much preparation. The Strength card coming up in the central position, of course, Leo energy, representing us being really courageous and knowing that while we may not have all the answers right now, this is really getting you into a space of that fresh new beginning. We're letting go of old belief systems, we're letting go of old limitations here, and ultimately wanting to get you to that higher and greater Leo type energy. But it's in the challenge position at the moment here, Aries, so just be mindful, like, you know, there's never a right time, there's only the moment that's being presented to you. So allow yourself that opportunity to realize that if it's being presented, you're ready. Like, the universe is not going to be providing you these opportunities without you know, knowing that you've become an energetic match to what it is that's being presented to you at the moment here. You've got the Hanged Man as the advice or the outcome here, so it's all about taking a fresh perspective. Like, what have you done to grow to get to this point here, Aries? What have you done to really manifest this? And take your time. Like, obviously, if somebody's trying to rush a decision for you or trying to push a point, it's time to take that slow, concise, an educated choice as well. Like, I do feel that if you're getting that pressure to actually do something on the fly here, let yourself marinate in all of the avenues. And I feel like a lot of that has already been discussed within your own head or your own mind. It's like the internal becoming external at the moment here. But the Hanged Man saying we're having a turning point in our perception of this situation. We're having a moment in which we can see this from a completely different avenue. And I think that this has a lot to do with the fact that you've really grown up and really growing into yourself at the moment here, Aries. Again, walking away from that old sense of self, walking away from what potentially has been emotionally comfortable for you. There's a lot to be opened up in this situation that feels like we've got avenues that you may not have really been thinking about before, but now it's like the time to go, okay, let's start discussing this. Let's start putting some plans in place. Let's start actually having a think about this if we were really to take on this new avenue. As I said, the opportunities are boundless. Like, whatever's coming up here feels very positive. It feels very opportunistic. However, maybe you haven't had that chance to really sit with the decision just yet. So I guess really work with the fact that, you know, there's a lot of impulsivity. You know, happy birthday to all my Aries out there if you're having a birthday at this time. But just know that you don't have to make that choice right on the moment. You know, you can say, hey, can I just sit with this for the next 24 to 48 hours? I just want to make sure that I'm making the right choice for myself and my loved ones. It feels like whatever's going on here, it's a really big impact to your world and to the world of those people who are being affected around you as well. So as I said, that Two of Pentacles, a lot of adjustments that would be needing to be made, a lot of new plans that need to get grounded. Pentacle energy can potentially even pertain to a work environment or something that's going to bring some more pennies into your pockets, my darling Aries. So, you know, take with that what you will. I just feel like that there's a lot to be marinated at the moment here. I don't know, it just feels like we're ruminating and we're having this moment where we give ourselves the opportunity to really think something through. But it feels like we need to walk away from something here that is no longer serving you. And again, you've exhausted yourself emotionally in this original avenue, and this is why we're actually starting to get the messages across to start discussing this new space that you're moving into here, Aries. So I love that for you guys. I hope that that has resonated for you, and I'm wishing all of my Aries out there such a fantastic full moon. Thank you. All right, hi Taurus, lovely to have you here, and welcome to the full moon in Libra reading for you. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to take that flipped out as we were saying it. They've got the Ace of Pentacles coming through for you guys for this full moon. Love me some grounded, earthy energy for you, sweet, sweet Tauruses. We've got the Ten of Swords coming through for you as well, and we have the Four of Wands coming out as the third card for you guys. Underneath the deck, the Empress, your energy. Love that, Taurus. Amazing. All right, so wow. I was just like doing a little bit of a flip underneath your underneath the deck here for you guys. We've got the Empress card, Nine of Cups, wishes and dreams being fulfilled, and the Sun card. Like some beautiful big changes coming in for you, Taurus. This is incredible. We've got a physical offer being manifested here for you guys. So the Ace of Pentacles, this could be, you know, getting that message back about an, you know, a raise or, you know, a job opportunity. If this is manifesting as a relationship, it's like somebody coming to you with that, something that's very legitimate, and it's going to stand the test of time. But it is an opportunity and an opening here. Maybe we have been like putting ourselves out there just to get our toes in the water to see if we can actually, you know, adjust the sails to how we've been working. And I think that this is working smarter, not harder. But I also feel that there's a level up in our financial side of things. I mean, we have had the North Node in your sign here, Taurus, for the last 18 months. So, you know, there must be some really big rewards coming through here. There's a lot of auspicious energy that I can feel here for you guys as well. But it's hard earned. Like, I'm not saying that this is coming out of like thin air. Maybe for some of you might be winning the lotto. Good for you. Fantastic, Taurus. That's incredible. But honestly, I think it's because you've been really, really honest about what it is that you're requiring now. Your standards have leveled up. You're in a position of being able to receive this as well. Feels like a lot of blockages have been moved out of your way, and it feels very much with this challenge with the Ten of Swords, it's because you've accepted the situation for what it is, and you're playing your card to that strength. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, maybe there's been a bit of a win-lose situation here. Maybe I've actually had to accept my limitations and really play to the cards of my strengths at this time, you know. Let ourselves like move on from potentially like an expectation that we were having in this situation here, and again rising to the occasion now, Taurus, to be able to feel like we're lessening the burden of that sting. And again, this feels like fresh energy. It feels like a level up. It feels like we're actually, you know, doing what's required both from a self-nurturance and self-care perspective here, Taurus, to being able to feel the lifting of that veil or the lifting of that pressure that was sitting up underneath here. Which is really interesting because the Empress card really represents a time in which not only are we finally receiving our bounty, but we've done what has been necessary to cut out the fat or cut out things that just now need to provide that room so that the new can be freshly brought into your life here, which is really interesting. I mean, it feels very auspicious. It feels like the timing's really right. And again, it's because you've given yourself over to the idea like, I've got my standards, I've got what it is that I want to move forward here. I'm no longer going to be accepting, you know, the bare minimum. I'm actually going to give myself that space to be able to be free and allow myself the opportunity now to, you know, really lean into what I'm worth and how I can actually bring that in and sustain it as well. You know, it's all very well that we might get opportunities, promises, good times, all of that, but if we're not in the state of mind to really receive it, it almost falls by the wayside and we're sort of wasting that energy. But I feel like this is not going by the wayside for you at all, Taurus. I mean, you've got the Four of Wands coming in, a lot to be celebrated. I feel for some of you Tauruses, it's like you get to let your hair down or be in a position here where you can really enjoy the fruits of those labors. And again, you've taken that time to nurture, you've taken that time to really give yourself the opportunity to do what you need to do here. So it's really, really beautiful to actually be in a position at this time to let yourself and your hair to go down. Sorry about that, Taurus. I've got other things going on outside. I apologize if you can hear that. But yeah, we've got a lot to celebrate here because again, it's been hard earned, hard won, and again, you've done what's required to really like allow yourself this you know, this time of celebration, if you will. And again, as I said, if it feels like a job offer or if it feels like an offer of like a fresh start here, again, you cut this out and know that, you know, not looking back to the past here is some way of like you know, it's almost like don't go back in the past here, Taurus, even if it feels like there could be some very nice sweet nothings being said, or, you know, if this is a work situation, you know, your old team saying, oh, we're going to miss you, and, you know, there's this feeling of the heartstrings being pulled a little bit here, Taurus, which I think you understand how to navigate that quite well. However, it's just, yeah, just sticking to your guns and realizing that this level up is happening. Again, the release in that Libra full moon energy is yours for the taking. So ease into it, enjoy it. Thank you so much for having me, Taurus. All right, Gemini, we have a full moon in Libra, fellow air sign. So this should be wonderful. We are getting ourselves into a position of opening up some new doorways, and especially considering this is harmonious energy, looking forward to seeing what comes up for you guys. Let's go for it. Okay, we've got the Six of Wands coming through. Talk about harmonious. Well done, Gemini. We've got the World card coming up in the center of your spread. And what can we see here on the third? We've got the Two of Pentacles. Interesting. Adjustments being required. All right, so underneath we have the Knight of Wands. You can see here, Gemini, that's pretty fun energy, my loves. Beautiful. I think this is like marching to the beat of your own drum and really getting into your space of like your own personal success. You do have like the Emperor card and the Five of Cups coming up underneath here, so this is about really setting some examples and some boundaries now for like moving on from situations that potentially could have been a little heavier. And again, we're no longer letting the past dictate our future, and I think for the most part there's been a lot of healing that's been going on. Again, I just feel like, especially with the Emperor card, that represents a lot of like, you know, knowing what you will and won't put up with, creating structure in your life, but also knowing that you are seeding some bright ideas and some beautiful direction here that comes from something that's very much on your terms and in your lane. So it's less about what everybody else has to say about what's your calling here, Gemini, and more about how this is going to feel for you, and letting yourself off the hook at the idea that you need to be setting an example or doing things that other people need to please or appease their wants, needs and desires. Now, that's not to say that you're going into a position of like the super selfish, I don't care about anyone but myself kind of energy. I just don't feel that at all. It's just more of like a self-reflection, self-care, self-honoring kind of energy here. It is the hot pony, so there's a lot of energy coming up underneath here as well for you, Gemini, which is really awesome. But look, it's really breeding a lot of personal success. Six of Wands coming through here for you. So it's like knowing that you've got a certain avenue or an angle that you're trying to create at this time, and allow that this moon to just really let go of, you know, feeling like you owe anyone an explanation. And I know you guys, Gemini, you really don't have to worry about like manifesting that too much, as I can feel here. Like it just feels like this is just a reward. But understand that the Six of Wands it's being recognized for your strengths. It's being recognized and being accoladed for the things that you're putting out there finally. You know, like you might have been toiling away at some ideas, or, you know, trying to manifest something that is really off the wall, something really unique here. And again, like, you may not have necessarily had a lot of validation moving through this, and it's like really understanding that, you know, finally, after all of this time, all of this focus that you've done for your project, your place, your person, whatever it may be, there's a lot of opportunity to be recognized and finally feeling that inner success, because this is where it comes from. It's like you reflecting out to the world truly where you are at in regards to your own personal success at this time. Look, the World card coming up in the central position. World representing the ending of an old cycle, the finishing up of a chapter here that really does need to be accepted and let go of. But you can see that the energy here with her just feeling free and feeling allowing, because the Fool coming up in the next card on the major arcana says you're getting ready for this fresh new start. There's this beautiful energy of this full moon. It's like, however graceful you can, you know, navigate the let go will really give way to the opportunities moving forward as well. So it's in your hands here, Gemini. I really do feel like you've got a lot of chance here to self-reflect, know that, you know, you're not going to be dipping your toe into the same river twice. We're actually getting ourselves up and out of a situation that has been feeling quite stifling, and it is towards your own personal success, maybe how you've been communicating. Maybe there's been some big lessons about what you will and won't put up with in regards to your own personal endeavors. Maybe some of you are entrepreneuring and now you just know that you can't work with a certain group or a certain person, and that needs to be falling by the wayside. Whatever it is, there's just some adjustments that are still needing to be leveled out here. The Two of Pentacles is that we you know, there's some compromises, there's some changes. You know, we need to actually start to look at what habits, or, you know, our routine that we've got here that needs to have some adjustment. Again, whatever the lesson has been with this World card coming through here, Gemini, is really asking you to infiltrate and, you know, get that rubber hitting the road, get it to stick, you know what I mean? But it's requiring just a little bit more adjustment, and again, listening to your own focus, listening to what it is that you're trying to create here, and set those boundaries. Don't worry if other people are getting a little bit butthurt over the idea that you're like moving in your own direction, or that you're doing things on your terms. That's fine, that's great. Like, no matter what, you're not going to please everyone, and ultimately you're in charge of your vessel, you're in charge of your destiny here, and allowing you this chance to really see that you do have the opportunity to truly adjust this. You know, maybe there's been some situations here where you've been quite stuck in your ways, and again, that World card is saying we need to cut that out. We need to be in a position where we're more open, more malleable. You are a mutable sign, so this isn't necessarily a hard thing for you, but use that to your advantage. You use your natural ability to adjust and to you know, find a better way of creating this that feels far more on your terms. So I hope that has been helpful for you, and thank you so much for watching. All right, hi Cancer, how are you? Oop, almost got into Leo there, sorry about that. Let's see what we've got for my darling Cancers, near and far, giving you a big squish and loads of love. All right, we have the first card of the Two of Wands. Beautiful. Second card for my dear Cancers for this full moon in Libra. We've got the central position as the Two of Cups. And what have we got as the last thing? Oh, I like that. We've got the Six of Wands coming out for you. Great success. Yes. Underneath the Eight of Wands. Woohoo. Fantastic. Loving that for you guys. Okay, so Eight of Wands is fast, synchronistic actions, things going at full speed. And with the Tower card and the King of Swords, interesting, we've got something that feels like it's coming out of left field. The Tower represents a disruption to our comfort zone. It's getting us out of a funk. It's making and breaking us out of something that we have been long stagnant in. There's a stagnancy that gets broken with the Tower, which is beautiful. But when I see the Eight of Wands, it represents like a lot of communication and a lot of like opportunity to really move forward in a space that feels in the flow. And again, you've got a wave that you can catch here. And I think at the same time with the King of Swords, it's like you get to be very sure about what it is that you're moving forward. There's a decision that's being required here, the Two of Wands, and allowing yourself the opportunity to be quite deliberate about this decision. Now, maybe the communication that's coming in the Tower card is an opportunity that's coming through for you, and you know, it may feel rushed, or it might feel like you're having to think on the fly, or be in a position where, you know, if I don't take into account like every little detail here, I'm going to miss out on something, or somehow that, you know, I'm not going to be able to get the best out of this situation. I just don't think that's the case, my darling Cancer. I just feel like at the same time, you want to be really 100% sure that you're listening to your gut in this space and listening to what's best for you, because the challenge is the Two of Cups. So this is the influence from other people. This can feel like, you know, you want to take into account your partner or take into account your family at the moment with this decision making. And while the Two of Wands is like looking at the Two of Cups, it's like the decision represents something that may just be personally for you. And again, it sounds like it might need to be required of a boundary or some adjustment here. But ultimately, I feel like you want to make this decision that's best for you, but at the same time, you don't want to make it feel like the other person is going to get out with a bad card, or that somehow this is going to affect your friendships, family, that sort of thing, to a degree where, you know, you're leaving them by the wayside, or there's an element of letting go of their expectations. And it's very interesting because the Two of Cups is like, I want to strengthen this. I want to strengthen this bond. I want to be in a position where I can take my own standards or what I need into account, but at the same time, I also want to make sure that my partner feels like I'm taking them into consideration. Or if this is a family member, that, you know, I'm not running off full steam ahead and not, you know, making sure that the people that I care about the most aren't considered. Like, I really feel like there's an element to that energy here. So that's an interesting one. I mean, you do have the Six of Wands, so however it is that you're manifesting this at this time here, Cancer, it's saying that you're going to be gaining some really beautiful personal success out of it, or that the situation will successfully go ahead. And I think it's the way that you tactfully communicate this decision. I think it's the way that you really do allow this person or this, you know, these people a way into how it is that you're thinking about this choice, or thinking about what it is that you're moving forward, and considering them in the process. I think that's a really important part of it. And again, allowing that vulnerable part of this decision to come out. I don't think that you are, you know, it might be the shadows of the past, you know, that has stifled the decision making to begin with, or even making that call, because again, you know, you've been kind of guarded, or there's an element here of like, you know, I don't want to make the same mistake twice. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to be in a position where, you know, I get somebody out of their own comfort zone. I'm happy to do that at this time, but also I just want to be considerate. I think you're doing that. I mean, considering we've got the Six of Wands coming up here, my loves, it feels very much like you do have this opportunity to give over to a space that feels very much like you've leveled up in your communication skills, or the skeletons of the past have finally actually healed, and you're no longer being at the helm of like those boundaries or those barriers towards like really expressing and letting your heart out here. Because the Two of Cups is like, you've got great support, like people around you do want to get the best for you as well here, Cancer. So if it's been that kind of navigating the waters here, trying to tread kind of lightly because you don't want to step on toes, or you don't want people to feel like you're not involving them in your choices, I just feel that you're getting past that to some degree. I mean, Libra is all about relationships and being quite diplomatic. So I think leaning into the fact that, you know, with a full moon, we let go of so many of those barriers and blocks that have left us feeling like we weren't seen, we weren't heard in the past. I think that that's where we're transcending this into. And again, a lot of eclipse energy coming through as well. It's like really shaking things up for you, so we can get you into a clear and beautiful space within your relationship sector. So I love that for you, Cancer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week. Hi Leo, lovely to have you here. We are going to be doing a little reading here for this Libra full moon for you guys. So let's have a look and see what the energy is for Leo. We have the Three of Swords coming through here. Oof, okay. What is the center coming through for the Leos? We have the Three of Pentacles. Okay, and the last energy that we've got for Leo is the King of Swords. Okay. Leo, interesting energy with the Nine of Cups coming up underneath the deck here. We do have the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups. So look, it's all getting you into a new space of release of tension. Look, dreams, wishes, and desires are the main aim right now. Is this giving you zest? Is this giving you ideas? Is this giving you inspiration at the moment? Three of Swords saying, look, we need to cut out anything that is providing us this space of inadequacy. It's interesting. The Three of Swords is like, obviously the card doesn't look very comfortable, and it isn't. It's where we tell ourselves stories that can really break our own heart. So where is it that we may have been having to heal through missed opportunities, or giving ourselves over to a story that just no longer serves our dreams and desires? Three of Swords can really represent a moment in which we do a lot of healing at this time, and again releasing those burdens from the past so we can get in a space of receiving these wishes and these desires. Maybe we've had some people around us that are not meeting our expectations. Maybe we're dealing with a situation at the moment that is breaking our heart, and we need to actually be in a space of mending this at this time. And I think with the challenge with the Three of Pentacles, it's like working with somebody else and being of the same values, or letting somebody really understand how this is impacting us at this time. I don't want you to be an island here, but it feels like we do have like a fresh energy being put into this situation here, Leo. I mean, it's saying we need to call a spade a spade. We need to call out what it is that has been worrying us. And again, if a situation has been very uncomfortable, or that we haven't been able to find a solution thus far, it's like in the mending, it's the rupture and repair that I can feel here. How do we need to repair this situation? How do we need to come back into a space where we can actually level up and let other people know what that impact is? Because obviously it has been breaking your heart. It has been giving you these worries about how to resolve this issue, and giving out over to a space of like knowing that this can't be the be all and end all. We need some ideas. We need to understand that this may be about family matters or somebody really close to home here. And again, it's like you've been very good at like showing a brave face, or trying to let other people see that you're not worried, or you're just trying to go with the flow. I think that there's an element here of being very sure that you need to communicate this. I do have the King of Swords coming through here, so this is a very direct energy. This is a very like a diplomatic energy. We do have that Libra full moon, so what hasn't been balanced in this situation? What hasn't been fair? Like, we need to get into a position where we can communicate those imbalances or those injustices that you've been witnessing here. Again, it's breaking your heart here. We need to find a new way of being able to work with somebody here, work with our friends or family or loved one. It feels very much like the teamwork or the opportunity here has been fall by the wayside, or we're in a space at this moment where we really need to be quite diplomatic. It feels like there's an emotional undertone to this situation here, Leo, that again, you're getting to the crux of it. It's all about getting to a plan. It's all about like listening to the other person with an open heart and an open ear, but being very logical about the situation as well. Like, I feel like if it's been emotionally burdensome, you really want to get to this place where it feels like nice and clear. You've got the 9 to the 10 of Cups. There's definitely a solution available, but we've got to get out of our emotional body and more into our more logical body here. Again, the person quite well, or the situation quite well, so it's not like it's coming out of left field that you're having to figure out where the intention is or what's behind here. I think you really know, for all intents and purposes, that there's something that you need to give to this situation, or something that you need to provide here that will give this person or this situation that leg up towards like having some workable arrangement that can happen here. And obviously, you may be dealing with a family member or a loved one who may have you know, got their own hurts and having to deal with their emotional body, and you're having to step up and be the strong person so that they can actually feel like they've got structure or they've got a safe place to land here. I think being too stern or being too hard-headed in this situation as well could be to the detriment of this, but ultimately the King of Swords is looking over to the Three of Swords saying, how can I fix this? How can I mend this? How can I change the way that I'm thinking about this situation to include the other parties to such a degree that they're being a part of this solution as well. Very Libran energy, you know, they're very diplomatic, they're wanting to see the both sides of the story and figure out the best way to handle this so that everybody wins, so that everybody has their space to be heard. There is ideas being put on the table. Allow the other person to figure out a way that can work for them. Does that work for you? Not saying, okay, that's it has to be my way or the highway. It feels very much like we've got a release of tension that needs to happen, because ultimately it's an emotional decision that needs to use a logical mind. So it's a very interesting energy for you guys here, Leo. I hope that that has resonated, and I'm wishing you all a very powerful next couple of weeks. And I feel like this is being resolved in a space that will feel incredibly light, and again, it's like taking the pressure off, feeling like it's all on your head or all on your shoulders. You're working with someone else here, so allow that person to show up, allow that person their own ability to figure out solutions, and not for you to be used or to be taken advantage of, or, you know, there's a lot of that sort of energy that I can pick up on here, Leo, which I feel for the most part you're aware of this cycle, or you're aware of what it is that got you to this point. So let's call it for what it is and actually get to the bottom of it and realize that there is a practical and easy solution that can come from this, but we do need to be open enough to listen to this other side with an open mind and an open heart. And you guys are incredible for that sort of energy, Leo. So I'm imploring and wishing you guys much luck and much love. Thank you, Leo. Hi Virgo, so nice to have you here with us. We are reading for our lovely Libra Full Moon. Let's see what we've got for you guys at this time, Virgo. All right. Your energy coming out, the Hermit, beautiful. In the center of this spread, we have the Two of Pentacles, okay, and coming out as the outcome, got the Fool, beautiful energy, amazing, Virgo. Underneath we have the Hanged Man, and I want to peep the Seven of Cups. You can see it there, sort of like peeping out the side. All right, Virgo, amazing. So the Two of Cups, maybe that was something that needed to come out there. The Two of Pentacles is a challenging card, because it's all about making sure that you've got everything accounted for here. The Hanged Man is like gaining a new perspective on potentially travel plans or moving ahead with an idea that feels very in alignment with your greater creative goal. Again, with the Hermit card coming up as your first energy, this represents your energy, so it's very favorable to the idea that you need to take some time away from everybody else's pressure or need to find an answer or a solution at this moment and come to your own ideas and your inner calling at this moment. The Hermit can really bode to a time where we, you know, shut all of those external devices off, we go out into nature and we really sit in our own energy and bask in what is coming through us. It's the internal calling, our own light, so that we can shine that out and allow other people to be helped. You know, the Virgo is of service, so you guys are really leveling up in what it is that you're wanting to put out there and give to the community or to your, you know, your family or your partnership here, but it's asking you to take on this fresh perspective that you know that you need to go in this new direction. It's got Cancerian energy, so it's like it's feeling like there's a lot of pressure to get this moving really fast, but the Hermit's like, let's slow it down a little bit. Let's take that Hanged Man kind of expression. Let's move in a space that feels more like I'm going to be deliberate. I'm going to take in the account of all of the information that I've been gaining. I'm hearing those perspectives, I'm hearing those opinions, and I'm also understanding that I've got a greater thing that I'm trying to achieve here, and I don't want to feel like other people are going to sway me out of ultimately what I know that I need to do within my own calling. The Two of Pentacles is the adjustments that are being required here. Are we needing to quit that job so we can get further into you know, our entrepreneurship? Are we needing to start to cut cut out, you know, food groups so that we can be more nourishing to our body or to what it is that we're creating here? Are we needing to cut out old belief systems and old habits that are just no longer serving that greater picture and that greater calling at this moment? Whatever it may be for you, it's like those adjustments are the things that are very much the focal point at this time, because ultimately what we can sacrifice, what we can move, how we deliberate our time, what it is that we're focusing our energy onto is ultimately going to be your biggest challenge at this moment. We do have the Fool card coming out here, so this is Aries energy saying let's just trust the process, know that we don't have all the answers, but at the same time there's a push or a calling at this moment to get ourselves out of our funk and get us into a direction that feels very much like we've got the support of our own self first and foremost, but also the support of our friends, our family, and even God, the universe, you know, however you want to call or paint that. Ultimately, it feels very much like you're leveling up and charging ahead in something that you have been working and toiling away at in the very quiet moments. And most people don't know how much focus or attention and energy has been put into this new calling. But ultimately, the Hermit card saying, look, let's give over just for the moment over this new moon to kind of take our space, take our leave, you know, get out into the ocean if that feels good for you, Virgo, or take that walk in nature and get yourself in a position where you're more receptive to your own intuition and your own gut instincts at this time. Again, I feel like a lot of the Two of Pentacles, what it is that you need to sacrifice at this moment, or, you know, change in regards to your own workload here, is going to rise from understanding how your body has been reacting to certain pressures or to you know, outside forces trying to push you in a direction that feels very uncomfortable, or at the end of the day it's like just isn't me anymore. Like, I've leveled up, I've grown up here. I'm really thinking in terms that for all intents and purposes I might have been mulling over for many years here, but the time is nigh. Like, I've got the opportunity, I've got the chance to actually do this. There's a lot of things being placed in front of you at the moment here, Virgo, so give yourself that nice space, and, you know, don't feel that pressure to move too far ahead, but it is coming. So however you utilize this time right now, it gives you that great foundation and that great footing. It gives you the space as well to understand that, you know, when you make these deliberate choices, or when you actually give yourself over to this time, it will enhance your self-esteem, or be in a space where you can really shine that light and that focus on the very thing that you may have been putting aside because of, you know, external distractions, or really not feeling like you're in the headspace to be able to mull this over. It's like almost like the deliberate nature of this energy at the moment in Libra is just asking you to release, relinquish, let go, take space, give yourself the wide berth and the bigger picture perspective that will give over to the opportunity to go, yeah, I'm ready, I can do this, I know that I can do this, I have all of the tools in my tool belt. It's just trusting that I'm my intuitive and gut instincts right now are making way for this fresh start. I mean, the Fool's beautiful because it's saying that the chapter beforehand, that World card, is already finished, the culmination is done. You might be in a bit of a voidy kind of situation at this moment here, Virgo, so trust that you can trust that you've done that work, and that that's why you're able to actually, you know, give yourself over to this time at the moment. So I love that for you, and just trust your instincts as well, and trust that vision. You know, you can accept where you're at, you know the truth of what you're creating here. So again, accept that, be in that space of strength at the moment, because ultimately there's been time, experience, and watching yourself go through these motions now, you can trust this process even deeper. So thank you, Virgo, I hope that's resonated. Libra, so nice to have you here, my darlings. It is your full moon, so I'm hoping that we get some great messages out for you guys, and seeing what we've got for this full moon in your sign. All right, let's go. What's the first card for my Libras, please? We have the Magician. Well, ain't that a thing? How beautiful. And in the central position, we've got the Queen of Wands. Okay. And we have the Ace of Cups. Oh my God, that's an amazing energy to be getting. Incredible, Libra. Wow, 10 of Pentacles. Stop it. You need to stop it right now. Page of Cups coming up underneath here. And I've got the King of Wands and the Justice card. Your energy, you cannot make this up. Oh my God, how beautiful. Wow. All right, Libra, you are manifesting. That Magician card representing what is above is so below. You have been drawing in some beautiful manifestations that are coming into grounded level. Fantastic. I mean, Ten of Pentacles is all about our legacy and being confident, knowing that you now have a better idea and a better structure in which you want to get this party started. Like, I feel like you may have had some new ideas. This could be towards the home, you know, like leveling up some I feel like maybe potentially even some home decorating or maybe some renovations. It also can mean that we are now seeing I suppose the projects that are going to last the test of time, you know, and being really confident in these ideas now and being in a position where those opportunities and those doors are starting to open here, and figuring out how it is that you are going to navigate this with strength and with confidence. I mean, this is the thing. We've got the Queen of Wands in the central position. So the challenge is knowing that, you know, you're good enough, you're worthy of it, you know, that you're worth the good things here, Libra. And again, this is your full moon, so there's going to be, you know, situations that have been challenging you to get you out of this stifled energy, to get you back into your confidence as well, dealing with like a series of events previously which you've really had to push through and push forward. And again, is the time ever going to be right? Am I ever going to get those doors to be open? Am I ever going to be able to plant those seeds and really garden in that energy? Well, it feels like this full moon is giving you those blessings. It's giving you those opportunities. It's allowing you that chance to really sit in this vision and get it forward. Again, the Justice card is like a recalibration, a rebalancing that's happening for you guys naturally and obviously in a space that feels in your control is what I want to say here. Again, the Queen of Wands is like, stay focused on the vision, stay in your lane at the moment, and Ace of Cups is birthing this beautiful fresh start, both emotionally, and I find with the Ace of Cups it really represents you know, a new beginning in your own self-love. But if you've been trying to manifest a long-term relationship here, my darling Libras, or even like deepening a long-term relationship, beautiful energy. You know, it's time to have somebody pursue you, or if you're in the masculine, for you to finally pursue that thing that is really going to make your heart sing and heart soar, which is fantastic. I feel like with the Page of Cups kind of peeping up underneath here, this is something that you've been trying to manifest for some time. Again, it's been in your imagination, it's been in your intuition, and you know, you might have been putting it away going, it'll never happen. I'm just not going to find that person or that you know, that job that's really going to make me feel like I've got something to give, or that I'm seen, or that I'm you know, really what's that word, respected and acknowledged. You know, there's a lot of these big words where it's like, I want to feel like the person that I'm with, or the, you know, the place that I'm pouring all of my energy, or the you know, the business that I'm putting into, that I can be acknowledged and actually, you know, seen for what I am, because ultimately this is something that is going to bring you so much happiness and so much passion and so much joy and so much delight, but it's in this challenged position. So ultimately, if we can get ourselves into a space of like reassuring ourselves, stay confident. You know, you've gone through so many battles and so many challenges, Libra, that is giving over to this idea of like, now finally you can ride that wave, or be in a space where you can see the manifestations that you've been putting in those diaries, or, you know, writing down all those things that you've been really wanting to get up and get ahead here, starting to have those link-ins with friends, with family, with, you know, that it's like turning the page and finding the ideal job, and just like, no way, I've been wanting to get this started for so long. But it feels like opportunities beckoning here, and again, feeling like you're worth it, feeling like you get to enjoy this a little bit deeper, because ultimately it is the Ace of Cups. It's like, it's here to make you feel far more emotionally fulfilled, and again, feeling like you've really earned it. And this is because you've done all of this delicious work around your own self-esteem and giving into that space that, you know, like you say all these wonderful things to your friends, you know, you're very like, I feel you're very supportive for everyone else around you, and there may have been this gap of feeling like, okay, well, if everyone else is getting their wishes and hopes and desires, like, where's my fun, where's my Ten of Pentacles, where's my legacy coming in? Well, this is that full moon for you. You've got eclipses happening, especially in your nodes at this time. So it's really important to know that whatever is being let go of in the last couple of weeks has been making room for these opportunities and this chance that's coming up here, Libra. So lean into it, stay strong, stay confident, and know that all of these beautiful things that are coming through right now and manifesting are because you're on that vibrational frequency, and you get to enjoy the fruits of those labors, both emotionally and energetically. So that's really, really beautiful. I love that. And as I said, if it's a relationship here, it feels like somebody who's going to show you that they stand the test of time. If it's a you know, something to do with the home or something to do with your house, again, these renovations or up levels are going to last. And same with a business opportunity or a new job that might be coming in as well. It's like, it's something that you know you've been really working hard to achieve and get yourself into a status that will allow you to have it and to finally feel like that's available to you. It feels like very much a very ace kind of energy, like fresh start, Magician, Ace of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, like big culminations of energy here. You just got to stay strong, stay confident, stay in your lane, be in that space where, again, you're being recognized for all of that hard work. So I love that, Libra. Thank you so much for allowing me in your energy. I hope you have a wonderful full moon in your sign. Hi, Scorpio. All right, let's have a look and see what we've got for the full moon in Libra energy for you guys. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Flicks it out. We've got the Knight of Wands. Interesting. Central position is we have the Three of Wands. And what have we got as the last card for you guys? All right, Page of Cups. Beautiful energy. Underneath we have the Tower card, King of Swords, Queen of Swords. Okay. All right, and I do want to peep the Knight of Pentacles coming up underneath here as well. So Knight of Wands really represents an energy of, you know, marching to the beat of your own drum, but it can also feel like a sort of a hot and cold energy as well. Like things feel really fun and flirty and fast and all of that sort of jazz, but at the same time, we may feel like, you know, is this really going to last? Are we going to really be able to, you know, really rely on this kind of energy? You know, it is a card of just feeling like it's like a good time but not a long time. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've got to be mindful of that kind of energy, because the Knight of Wands, again, super fun, super flirty, super delightful, but it's kind of like with the Tower card blasting you out of anything that doesn't feel like it's going to bring you rejuvenation or happiness or joy. I mean, the King and Queen of Swords coming up underneath here is very interesting as well, because it's like there's an element here of being really mindful of your words or your communication at this time, and realizing that maybe, you know, to lessen the burden of feeling like you need to invest in this or invest in something that doesn't feel like it's lasting the time. You've got the Three of Wands coming up as the central position, so that really represents like biding your time, waiting for your ships to come in. You know, it could feel like you're being given an offer that feels fun, that feels flirty, that feels like really exciting and, you know, enjoyable, but at the same time, is it really the thing that you're wanting to you know, call back into your experience? Maybe that's what's needing to get taken out at the moment. With the Knight of Pentacles, you've got a plan, you've got a bigger picture that you're trying to create here, you've already been putting it out to the universe or to God what it is that you're wanting. So the idea is like, don't get second best because it's quick and easy. You want something that's going to last and be, you know, definitely something that's going to be of quality and of quantity as well. I think with the Page of Cups coming up underneath here, we've got an offer. This can pertain to an apology or somebody wanting to offer in some love and something that will be, I feel like, more in alignment with, you know, your hopes and your dreams and those sort of things. So it's like saying to you, okay, so the Knight of Wands energy is coming back here, that hot pony, it's yummy, it's super fun, it's super flirty, it's super delightful, and at the same time, like, you want to feel like you've got this rejuvenation to your energy, but at the same time, is it really in alignment with that Knight of Pentacles, that bigger plan? Is it really going to sustain you? You know, the Three of Wands is saying, we've got something that's coming in here for you, my darlings. You know, we've got something that is definitely in alignment here, but we've got to get you out of your comfort zone. We've got to get you to communicate about this. We've got to get you very sure about how you navigate this Knight of Wands, because ultimately it's about the communication styles, or about being really honest about how or what that plan is before we can actually blast this kind of energy out there. But again, perhaps the way that you're articulating yourself, the Libra energy really does bode to that diplomatic style. So it's like being really honest and upfront, and you know, maybe even talking out what your plans are and allowing someone to meet you there. Again, it's just putting out that call, and again, keeping your heart open, keeping your space open as well, and allowing that to meet you. I mean, it is the Page's energy, so it's the beginning part of it. It's also something very sweet and very simple. So take it what it will. If it doesn't feel like it's in alignment with that bigger picture, you know what to do here, Scorpio. Snip, snip, cut that out, get it out of your life. If it does feel like finally you might have been boding to this Knight of Wands and actually being very realistic with them, and they're actually like taking that on board and, you know, being really honest about this and actually taking it seriously, then obviously that's something that you might need to crack out of. Again, maybe this is your own energy here. Like, have you been sort of one toe in, one toe out in your dreams? Are we actually now starting to see that we need to get a little bit more serious with the way that we're communicating, or the way that we're actually showing up in this situation? Because ultimately the Three of Wands is like, this is your ships coming in. This is like something in which you've been waiting for some time. And again, the opportunity of like when pigs fly, you know, like it's like, wow, I never thought that this would have the turnaround that I thought it would have, you know, like amazing to see that we're finally able to open this up with a plan and a space. But again, it may be coming from a place that you feel like isn't necessarily what you were expecting, or again, it's like God offering you this opportunity here and you're like, I thought it was going to look a different way. Well, here we go. We've got to actually be open enough to know what our goals are and how that's being delivered at this moment, and not to feel like, you know, the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is green where you water it and where you focus in and where you actually do that work, because these two energies really don't mince words. But you can see how they're like looking at each other here as well. It's being very logical about the situation, being very like planned and thought out. You know, I do find that sword energy, again, Libra full moon, that we need to really cut out the middleman, or cut out the stuff that really isn't serving this bigger picture, this bigger plan. And again, maybe you were afraid to express it. Maybe there was an element there of like holding a lot of this to yourself. You guys can feel like it's more of an introverted energy here, but again, it's like you're nipping this sort of energy in the bud. Like Knight of Wands, very excitable, very fun, very flirty, but not a lot of substance. Whereas if you start to talk to the Knight of Wands and go, okay, well, this is actually what I'm after, let's get out of the comfort zone, let's make a plan, we've got some really good energy coming through here for you, my darling Scorpios. So again, if it's not another person, it could be just your energy in this space, and realizing that you have that legacy coming into you now. I think this is boding really well to a fresh start and a fresh energy here. And again, something where you get to open up your heart a little bit more, and yeah, allow your imagination to come wild and be free. Because I feel like with the Page of Cups, it's like you've got to not limit yourself to the past. You've got to really like understand that you've grown, the other party have grown, or you're actually manifesting things now from a different level or a different space. So trust that, and trust how that's coming through for you as well. You get to like recognize this kind of energy quite quickly. It's not like you're getting pulled and sucked back into an old storyline, or feel like you're at the helm of this kind of energy. I really don't think that that's the case. I think the idea is being patient with it and realizing that you need to let it come to you, or be in a space where the door is open enough that you can actually walk in with a lot of confidence and knowing that you're right in alignment there. So I hope that that has resonated for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much for allowing me in your energy. Hello, Sagittarius. Let's see what we've got for you guys for this full moon in Libra. Air sign, complimentary. Let's hope. Let's see what you guys have got for this full moon energy, Saggy. Two of Pentacles coming through for you guys. Adjustments required. Seven of Pentacles coming through as the center of your spread. And the likely outcome is the Fool card. Beautiful energy for you guys. Underneath we've got the Knight of Cups. I believe that this energy really is boding to a lot of relationship style or relationship stuff at this time here, Sagittarius. So putting your heart on your sleeve with the Knight of Cups. But obviously this is going to be a bit difficult. We do have the Five of Swords and the Strength card. So this is overcoming past conflicts or past hurts here and being really strong to be able to like put across your point, or you know, allow yourself to get really creative here. I know that there may it feels like there may have been conflicts. Like Five of Swords is like you might have wanted to open up your heart in the past, but there's been fights or disagreements or people who are very much on different levels or different value systems here. But ultimately it's like maybe we can take a look at this situation from fresh eyes, or come at this with our growth game being a lot stronger here, Sagittarius, because you've got the Two of Pentacles. There's just some adjustments that are needing to be made, you know, just some way, you know, is this going to fit in with your schedule, or can we make room for it? Can we get ourselves in a position where we take in the other person's situation or their ideologies and wants and desires here into account? Because ultimately, you know, life is about compromise, but it's also not to the point where you're giving away your own values, but ultimately we can see where we can make room or make adjustments here. The Seven of Pentacles is about making sure that the seeds that you're sowing or the adjustments that you are making are going to be standing the test of time and are going to be a good investment, you know. This is the challenge. It's like making sure that your eyes are open and knowing that you, for all intents and purposes, have the strength and the wherewithal to be able to make these choices right now, but also being very patient with it. I mean, the Pentacle energy can really say, like, don't rush ahead, learn from the past, but be courageous with your heart. Know that you are in a position at the moment that growth or those experiences have changed you and are now getting you into a position where you can actually start to feel a lot lighter. I don't think we're being met by the same energy. I don't feel like we're being, you know, so, what's the word? We're not getting ourselves into a position where we're bitten off more than we can chew. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like your eyes are closed and you're like going in there blind and figuring out like all of this. No, the experience has landed. Like, this is like the seeds from the past finally growing so that you can actually feel like you've got a foundation that you can work with. And I feel that there's a lot of foundations that are being fortified here at the moment here, Sagittarius, and giving you this rise to knowing that you're going off into this new space with a good footing. Again, realizing that the past is the past. We can let that go. We can release that now and open up ourselves, because we've got the Fool card coming in as that last card here. So it's asking you to take that leap of faith, be in a space where you can really trust the next process and trust yourself, you know. Like the World card means that you've done a lot of work and culminated a really big cycle ending. You know, this is something fresh actually in the energy at the moment here, and you really have to trust it. You have to trust yourself, you have to trust the person, or you have to trust the situation to know that it's not coming out of here to punish you or to trick you or to be in some way you know, mishandling you, or you know, there's all of this sort of energy that I can feel here at the moment here, Sagittarius, which bodes so well to you being far more in control in this situation than you may give yourself credit. But ultimately it's still requiring your vulnerability and being able to wear your heart on your sleeve here. Allow the romance in the situation to again take hold, take flight. It might be a boost or a level up to your relationship. So if you're an established bond, this can really feel like allowing yourself to be seen, even though you might have brought up the subject before and it might have got shot down or not understood, or there was misunderstandings there. It's like now we can come at it with a fresh palette of ideas, or a fresh way of actually being able to articulate ourselves now, because we've done the research, or we've done the self-development, and we're becoming more aware of how we're approaching the situation here. Again, I feel like you're being really met here, Sagittarius, especially with the fact that we've got that Fool card, like the other person's really wanting to meet you and how they can adjust as well to what your needs, wants and desires. So it's not just about you compromising on your own. It takes two to tango. It's taking both parties to really be able to step up and step into this, but ultimately the both people trying to create something that's going to last, that's going to grow, that's going to actually have some roots here. And as I said, I feel like you're not going into this with without any like background. And if it's a fresh energy or a new person coming in here, Sagittarius, again, don't let the old relationship tarnish what will be, for all intents and purposes, something very gratifying and stable. So it's a really beautiful energy that I can feel here for you guys, and I think that that's really boding to your work and boding to what you've focused on, and again your own self-care and how it is that you're structuring your life at the moment to bring you into that level up and that enjoyment moving forward. So thank you so much for your energy. I hope that that's fit well for your story. Thanks, Sagittarius. Alright, Capricorn, let's see what we've got for you guys in this full moon in Libra energy. Okay. Ooh, we've got the Two of Cups. Beautiful. And in the central position for you guys, the Two of Wands. And what have we got as the last card, please, for my Capricorns? Seven of Cups. Okay, beautiful. Underneath we have the Four of Swords. Five of Swords want to peep a little bit here, but we do have the Star card and the King of Cups. All right, beautiful energy for you guys here, Capricorn. So Two of Cups energy coming up in the beginning. So this is around relationships or somebody, a significant other. This could be the beginning of a new relationship or the mending of an old one. I do get the sense, especially with the fact that we do have this opportunity for healing at this moment, it can feel like this relationship can be best served in the quiet moments, or allowing the both of you to give over to the idea that this could really start to mend our hearts or be in a space of up leveling. I love that the Star card and the King of Cups is coming through here, because ultimately this feels very much like it's a connection that feels very spiritual, but also very emotionally maturing as well. So I think at the end of the day, it's like you are aware of like what has happened in the quiet moments, or the space in between in this relationship, that's giving you a rise to make some better decisions. And it is about the decision moving forward, because ultimately maybe there has been a pause or a separation that's happened in this situation here, Capricorn. If you're not in a relationship, this is you thinking about how you're going to present yourself into the next relationship as well. I want that connection that's going to feel like it's a divine orchestration, and again something that's going to be emotionally stable, somebody who's emotionally there, and at the same time, how is it that you're serving or bringing your energy into this as well? So whatever it may be, if it's an established bond or somebody you already know, it's like leveling that up. What have we learned over this time? How can we infiltrate a better choice or a better decision moving forward? Because ultimately we've had some time to think about what our values are and what it is that we're trying to instill here, and how is it that we can give ourselves over to the idea that we may not necessarily have full control over this either. We just need to show up in a space that feels emotionally grounded, and also being able to take in that other person's ideas and how they want to be loved and be cherished and respected here in a new and more an updated rather than outdated way. You know what I mean? Because ultimately we've got the Seven of Cups. There's a lot of opportunity here, a lot of things to unfold and unfurl. There's not, you don't have all the answers just yet. You can take a moment to deliberate over what's required moving forward, and maybe that is taking a little bit of pause so both people can heal, or both people can still stay in their lane, but ultimately that there's a lot of hope and a lot of opportunity available in this. And again, how do you show up? How are you presenting yourself to this person? Because really, not rushing, being in a space where you take deliberate action and really go over all of the consequences of those choices would really bode well to you. Be diplomatic, allow yourself that chance to heal the old wounds. Again, you may be coming at this finally with some fresh ideas and some fresh energy here, because in the past there may have been misunderstandings, and you've really had an idea of how a relationship should look, and that hasn't happened. And so now we're going into this back to the drawing board kind of energy. Okay, how do I show up? What is it that I can do here that feels far more engaging and emotionally mature in this space? I do find that, you know, this can be a reconnection for some people, especially if you've had some space away from your partner, or there's had to be like you guys having to be in your own lane for a while because of the pressures of, like, you know, just everyday life, work life, kids, you know, having, you know, hobbies, or, you know, things that you've been really focusing on, and the relationship has kind of had a bit of a backburn, you know, been on the back burner. If you've been like in that space as well, that you've been single and looking for somebody, maybe you haven't been going on those apps to check out and find some new people that you would like to go on a date on, or even be open to those blind dates or link-ins from people here as well. It's like there's an opening or an opportunity here to really kind of focus in on those relationship goals and allow yourself the chance to make those decisions. Maybe, you know, we've had some new information come through and you're actually starting to infiltrate, you know, what's being said here, and giving yourself over to more opportunity, more options. How do we make this work so that both parties feel seen, heard, and loved and respected? I really do feel like it's an overshadowing of like the burdens of the karmic past that has occurred within your relationship sector here, Capricorn, letting go of a lot of those ideas and those burdens that you felt were keeping you in this old loop, or this karmic cycle, this karmic wheel that I can feel here now. But it's just down to the quality of your decision making and the chance of like doing things in a space that feels unrushed and in a timely manner, because ultimately the observation on how you've gone through your relating in the past is now giving rise to this fresh energy and opportunity as well. So I really love that for you guys, Capricorn. I hope that has resonated for you. Thank you so much. All right, Aquarius, let's see what we've got for you guys now for this fellow air sign full moon in Libra. Let's see what we've got, Aquarius. Lovely to have you along. All right, you guys have got the Knight of Wands. Wow. All right, we've got the Emperor card coming up in the central position for you guys. And we have the Three of Swords. Okay, interesting, Aquarius. We have the Hanged Man coming up underneath the energy for you guys. Nine of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so Knight of Wands with the Hanged Man. Those are kind of opposing energies that I can see here, Aquarius. Very interesting. I mean, Knight of Wands represents like marching to the beat of your own drum, being in a space where you can like be free and be open and be excited about life again. And I do feel like at the end of the day, the focus is about lightening the load, being more carefree, enjoying your life a lot more. The Hanged Man is like trying to find a new perspective on how you can gain your independence again. There's a lot of beautiful changes on the horizon here for you as well. And I do get the sense that this full moon is asking you to take a different look about your independence, or how it is that you're navigating your world at the moment. Maybe you've been too focused in on your own sense of gratification and have, you know, locked yourself out of like, you know, potentially reopening or opening up a connection and getting yourself in a space where that feels like you are ready for that. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe, Aquarius, you have been kind of keeping yourself to yourself because ultimately that's feeling safe and feeling easy, and, you know, let's not worry about being misunderstood again. You know, like there's this element of like feeling like you need to be in a space of openness that I can feel here in this Knight of Wands. The Emperor card is about, in the central position, is about our boundary setting and the rules that we're sticking to in our life. And in the challenge position, maybe we need to take a look at how our you know, our set of rules or our boundaries are affecting our life at the moment here, Aquarius, like getting us into a space where we can actually start to fine tune what it is that we will and won't put up with, or how it is that we've been navigating our boundary setting at this time. To, is it serving us anymore? Is it restricting us? You know, maybe that's the thing. It's like this independence has been fantastic because you need you know, the creative space to be able to do what you do best, and, you know, having other people's influence or other people's energy is just not serving the situation, and it's not in a space where you feel like you have that space to give. But ultimately, with the Three of Swords, it's also about healing the past and healing the expectations that you may have had. You know, I love the Three of Swords to say that you have a real opportunity to nip the ideas and the stories that we've got in our head, nip it in the bud, so that we can feel free of how we've been interpreting a situation. You know, maybe this has been a time in which you've needed this space and you felt like disconnected from being able to have the warmth of a connection, or there may be friendship groups changing, or there may be other things that have been going on here that represent a time where, you know, it's how we approach these letting go processes that really gives rise to how we're affected by it. I feel it's a bit, you know, obvious there, but at the same time, maybe you just need a reminder that ultimately you're creating a goal here that is uniquely your own. We do have Pluto that's gone into your sign as well, Aquarius. So Pluto being a transformer, it is represented by the sign of Scorpio, which is all about transformation and death. So there could be some things that are really letting go, that needing to be let go of, maybe even an old sense of identity that just no longer serves you anymore because you've got new information, you've got new ways of doing things that are really requiring, and the wheel of karma is spinning. You know, we need to get you out of a feeling that, you know, you'll never get anything that's sustainable. I think as well with the Knight of Wands, it's like if we have been focusing too much on being carefree and not enough in regards to our diligence and our disciplines as well, can also give way to our expectations not being met and the feeling that we're, you know, treading 1,000 miles on the hamster wheel and it's not getting us anywhere. We've got to figure out where it is that we are, you know, over exerting to a situation that may not be serving us anymore here, Aquarius, which is really interesting because, as I said, I feel like you guys are going in a far new direction, but just be mindful that that Plutonian energy is pretty heavy and it is an identity shifter. So if you get those first few degrees of Aquarius, this could be really hitting you right now, but at the same time it's like a real self-focus and a self-adjustment that's required here. Like the Emperor's like wanting to get you in a place of more stability, but also realizing that there's parts of you that are dying, and that's okay. It's really required right now. The maturation that's occurring from the Knight to the Wand, that's a huge step up, you know what I mean, Aquarius? Like the Knights are pretty carefree, they don't, you know, it's all about communicating and how we might have been immature or too impulsive in the way that we've communicated, whereas the Emperor is very particular in the way that he's stipulating his life. You know, there's structures that need to be placed, you know, you will get, there's always consequences to those actions, so he's very deliberate in the way that he plans his life and creates those things. And when that's in the challenge position, it's like we need to take a look at how deliberately we're putting ourselves in the firing line of, you know, potentially even our old sense of self here. Is it still serving? Is it really, you know, is it giving over to the end product or the experiences that we're looking to? I mean, with the Three of Swords, it says, look, we've been breaking our own heart with potentially even our you know, where we haven't been showing up for our own expectations. So I think that there's a big part of that lesson that's boding well for that. How you navigate that, Aquarius, is certainly going to show you just what you're made of. And again, give it over to the idea that it's just trying to put you into a fresh perspective and strengthen you in your own independence. But there is some really good stuff coming out of it as well with the Wheel of Fortune. So I do feel like that there's opportunities being placed in front of you, and I do feel like it's like the divine timing of all of this is very important. So don't get too bogged down on the whys or, you know, hows or whens. It's just more about like riding this wave in a place that feels more disciplined and far more in alignment with what you're trying to create at this time here, Aquarius. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that has been helpful. Alright, Pisces, lucky last but never the least. Let's see what you guys have got for this full moon in Libra energy. Okay. Alright, we've got the Five of Pentacles. Central, we've got the Three of Swords. Goodness me. Alright, and what's the last energy for my dear Pisces, please? We have the Hermit. Okay. Alright, beautiful. Underneath the deck, look at that. Eight of Swords, the Death card, and the Ten of Wands. Ouchie wawa. Pisces, what the heck? We have a situation that has been plaguing your thoughts, and the Death card is like all about like what is ending, or there's a finishing up of an old cycle here, but death is transformative. That's really, really powerful. Maybe we're having to let go of some burdens here. We're seeing where things are not serving us anymore, and we really need to come to terms with that. Like the Eight of Swords often feels like we're telling ourselves stories about a situation. We might have cut off a person or a situation here because ultimately it was dragging us down. It wasn't energetically in alignment with us. We've had to cultivate some boundaries here with the Five of Pentacles, and this is serving you to keep some space, you know, allow yourself that space away from it so you can gather your thoughts. Perhaps like whatever's coming up here, and I do find with the Ace of Swords, this is where we tell some fibs because they're based on an old story, not the current one. We're telling ourselves that it looks a certain way and that we're not seeing people, or you know, we need to get rid of this because of all of these burdens. But ultimately the burdens are manifested from your own thought patterns or your own way of seeing this situation. And I do find with the Death card, it's like it's all rising to the surface, so you can take a look at your story, so you can take a look at what you're saying to yourself in this moment. You can see in the card like she's got herself bound and wrapped, and there's like all of these crows poking at her and everything, but when you take a look at what she's actually sitting in front of, there's none of that. There's nothing to that sake, for that sake. So it's how you're seeing the situation that's needing to really have you know, have a new look at, and again maybe killing off some of that stuff that's just again burdening you, because ultimately it's a self-protection mechanism that's not really grounded in the physical or the actual manifestation. Three of Swords in the central position, so something has come up here, Pisces, or something will be coming up here that's very difficult to deal with. Again, this may be pulling up the weeds from the past, skeletons in the closet here, and again not wanting to really deal with this with the person involved or the situation involved. You want to do it on your time. You want to sort of hermit away here, gain some perspective. And I find like with the Hermit card in this situation, Virgo energy, your opposite sign, it's asking you to really drop into your heart space versus like listening to the mind. The mind, 95% of the time, Pisces, is just trying to protect you from the worst case scenarios that never really eventuate. So are we going into that? Are we spinning ourselves into our own mind? Are we becoming a slave to the mind? Like ultimately these are really big questions that I kind of want to go and throw over to you at this time. You know, isolating yourself, doing this work to heal, great, fantastic, you do it your way, but ultimately it's drawing you back into how to get back into your meditation and drop further into the heart and realize that there's so much gold and so much wisdom. Even when you see these crows, all of this wisdom that is coming through from how you've been talking to yourself about this situation, or how you're talking about these situations. You know, you're going through a transformation, you're going through a shedding process, which, you know, be gentle with yourself, get into those bubble baths. I would say this is like the ultimate time of like self-care, but don't feel like you have to isolate yourself so much that you're not going to get somebody understanding where you're coming from here, Pisces. Especially the fact that the Ten of Wands is like you dragging along these ideals and this way of thinking from the past. The Sun card is there's a liberation coming through from all of this, so I want to give you that like little beacon of hope through this. And definitely with the Hermit card, you've got to do it your way. It's obviously coming up for you because, you know, you may have some new tools, or you're just ready to be able to see this right now. If things have been going well and all of a sudden this full moon just whacks you over the side of the head with something that ultimately feels like it's frightening you a bit here, this is a way in which your self-soothing or your way you deal with this is going to be highlighted. So I would say try and stay as grounded as you possibly can. Five of Pentacles is like the illusion of not having the support. You've got the support, you know, this feeling of the illusion of like I have to do it this way because I've always done it this way. Again, take a look at where those stories have started. Maybe perhaps this is a childhood wound that really needs its time. And again, call into those places where you can feel safe and feel seen, whoever those people or those or that place is. But I find with the Hermit card, it's like you can do well from just like sitting down in nature and getting that, you know, that meditation on, or diarizing, you know, journaling, you know, getting yourself in a position of allowing yourself to see what's actually coming up and rising through you. And again, a reminder of dropping back into that heart space, because that's where the gold is, and that's where you're going to find the deepest solutions to this issue is going to be here. So be gentle with yourself here, Pisces. Again, maybe not boating into addictions or you know, spaces where you feel like you want to escape out of this. I think the quicker that you actually address it and see this for what it is and really honor the process, I think you're going to really come out of this with a lot of teachable opportunities, because I feel like with the Hermit card, this is a part of how you serve. You know, you're going to be able to help other people by the way that you handle this, so it's going to be beautiful. And again, you might have wanted to keep things at an arm's length, but now, you know, Spirit and God is actually asking you to like really address this now so that you can transform it, lessen your burden, and come to a breakthrough within it. Okay, so I love that for you guys, Pisces. I hope that has helped, and I'm thanking you so much for your energy. Wonderful. All right, well, that is the end of all 12 signs, and I thank you all for your time. If this is where I leave you, beautiful, run away with your messages. If you would like to book a reading, or if you would like to watch along for your family and friends, please be my guest. If you feel like you would like to like and subscribe, coolios, super grateful for that too. All right, guys, with so much love in my heart, from mine to yours, namaste.